Hello, good morning. Welcome to Accountancy, Business and Management. I am Mrs. Jacqueline G. Melendez, your subject teacher in Business Mathematics.
As an introductory lesson, demonstrating knowledge and skills about the fundamental concepts of fractions, decimals, and percentages is important for a learner to understand the lessons in business mathematics. This lesson will help you review basics of fractions, decimals, and percentages. It specifically aims you to express fraction to decimal and percent form, to express decimal to fraction and percent form, and to express percent to fraction and decimal form. Let us recall the definition of the following terms. Fraction is part of a whole. Decimal is a fraction with a denominator which is powers of 10. Percent is defined as parts of 100. Remember, fraction, decimal, and percent are three different ways of showing the same thing. We should have an activity. In this activity, let us represent figure into fraction, decimal, and percent form. Now get ready with your paper and pen. Let's start. The first figure the answers are 1/2, 0.5, and 50%. Our second figure, the answers are 1/4, 0.25, and 25%. Our last figure, the answers are 3/4, 0.75, and 75%. From the activity, what are the rules or steps in converting fraction to decimal and percent form? Decimal to fraction and percent form. Percent to fraction and decimal form. Convert 3/4 into decimal form. To convert a fraction to a decimal, divide its numerator by its denominator. Dividing 3 by 4, we get 0.75 as the decimal equivalent of 3/4. Convert 1/3 into decimal form. Dividing 1 by 3, we get 0.333 and so on. Since the result is repeating and non-terminating decimal, represent the answer as 0.3 with a bar sign above 3, showing that 3 is the repeating digit of the decimal number. Therefore, 0.3 is the same thing of 1/3. Convert 9 and 4/5 into decimal form. In converting mixed number, set aside the whole number. In this example, we set aside 9 and divide 4 by 5. Dividing 4 by 5, we get 0.8. Then add 9 and 0.8. Therefore, 9.8 is the decimal equivalent of 9 and 4/5. To convert a decimal to fraction, consider first the place value of the rightmost digit in the decimal. Use that place value to determine the denominator of the required fraction. In this example, 0.5, 5 is the numerator, 10 is the denominator. Since the highest decimal place of 0.5 is in tenths place. Then reduce the resulting fraction in its lowest term whenever possible. To reduce fraction in its simplest form, divide both the numerator and the denominator by their least common multiple. In the first example, 5 is the LCM of 5 and 10. Therefore, 0.5 is the same thing as 1/2, 0.08 is the same thing as 2/25, 2.625 is the same thing as 2 and 5/8. In converting percent to fraction, first we need to write the percent as a fraction with a denominator of 100. Then reduce the fraction in lowest term. A fraction or a decimal may also be written as percent. The term percent means a part in 100. For example, 25% may be thought of as 25 parts in 100 or 25 hundredths. Then simplify into its simplest form. 25% is the same thing as 1/4. To convert a fraction to percent, you can simply reverse the process that you did in converting percent to fraction. Another way is to divide the numerator by the denominator. This will result in decimal, which you can convert to a percent by multiplying it by 100%. In the first example, 3/5, we convert it into decimal form. We divide 3 by 5, we get 0.60. Multiply it by 100%, we get 60%. We have discussed previously that to express a decimal as a percent, multiply the decimal by 100%. A shortcut to this process is to simply move the decimal point 2 places to the right and then affix the percent sign to the result. In this example, 0.25, moving the decimal point 2 places to the right and then affix the percent sign. Therefore, 0.25 is the same thing as 25%. 0.5 is the same thing as 50%. When converting a percent to the decimal, get first its equivalent fraction, then change the resulting fraction into its equivalent decimal. For example, 12%, 12 in hundreds is equal to 0.12. A shortcut to this process is to simply drop the percent and then move the decimal point 2 places to the left. In the first example, 67%, we drop the percent sign. We move the decimal point 2 places to the left. We derive at 0.67. same thing as 3% to its decimal form 0.03, and 6.5% is the same thing as 0.0625. In this section, you will generalize on the lesson you have learned by explaining the following process: converting fraction to decimal form, converting fraction to percent form, converting decimal to fraction form, converting decimal to percent form, converting percent to fraction form, and converting percent to decimal form. What you need to do: first, choose two among the listed conversion process. Second, discuss your chosen conversion process through a 3 to 5 minute video presentation. Include illustrative examples of the conversion process you selected. And third, submit the video by uploading it to the class FB page. Read and understand the rubric which will be used to assess your output. The following criteria are quality of work, discussion, and video presentation.